party of men specifically for the purpose of exploring the great wilderness. Good luck, gentlemen.
Lewis and Clark will attempt to find a route to the giant body of water to the west, the Pacific Ocean. They will gather information about the Indians and any and all facts relevant to the future settlement of the vast, uncharted West.
The first Independence Day west of the Mississippi River was celebrated in Kansas more than 200 years ago. On the Missouri River, July 4th, 1804, by the Corps of Discovery. Kansas, one of the 11 future states of the Louisiana Purchase, was the shortest part of the trail. Only 123 miles were traveled with 3 boats, 46 men, 4 horses, and a dog. Cow Point, where the Missouri and Kansas rivers meet at the site of present-day Kansas City, was the first Kansas campsite. Just 14 days were spent in Kansas traveling upriver. Clark wrote, "Rowing the boats on the Missouri River was like trying to ride a wild animal."
Lewis and Clark were successful in finding a route to the Pacific. They were given invaluable assistance by a beautiful Indian maiden known as Sacagawea. It was Sacagawea who found passes through the Rocky Mountains and put Lewis and Clark on the right route toward the Pacific. York, William Clark's slave, was also a valuable contributor as a boatman and hunter. His dark skin caused quite a sensation since some Indians had never seen a black man.
The bold explorers sent to survey the land for future settlers are doing their work. The great Northwest is open to the plow. A trail is opened to old Santa Fe. Lieutenant Pike tracks his way through the Rocky Mountains. A vast new land, a prairie world awaits the settlement of man. Zebulon Pike is leading an expedition to chart the vast southwestern wilderness. The expedition is primarily military. His purpose is to fly the colors of the United States of America and establish sovereignty over the newly acquired land. Later during the mission, Pike will discover the peak today bears his name. For now, he was only interested in surveying routes and showing military presence. The cry, "Take it down," echoes and re-echoes through the canyons as Pike tracks down every Spanish flag he sees and replaces it with the stars and stripes. An Indian flying the colors of Spain confronts Lieutenant Pike. Pike tells the chief,
"You are no longer under the protection of the Spanish flag. Your great father is now in Washington, and he requests that you run down that Spanish flag and replace it with the stars and stripes, symbolic of the great father's protection."
The chief challenges Pike to match his best warrior against the cunning strength of one of his best braves. If he can best his champion, he will take down the Spanish flag and raise Pike's standard. There is a moment of ominous tension, but the chief does comply.
without seeing another man. But occasionally they came together for trading, contests, and to catch up on the news of their still young nation. These men reveled in the freedom they possessed, freedom from the requirements placed on other men of their day who chose to live in cities or villages with their families rather than the solitude on the land. What we now are seeing is an event that at most occurred once a year. It is known as the rendezvous, originally started by trading companies that came from the Indians and frontiersmen near their trapping grounds. Coming from the east is the traders' horse-drawn wagons.
Notice the buffalo hunter in his sport, heavy with hide. It is being pulled by the slower oxen needed for their durability, strength, and stamina. Also arriving at the bone collector's wagon, called by some the scavenger of the prairie. The bone collector for after the buffalo skin is wasteful blood. The Indian sustained all parts of the beast. We have found the wasteful practice repulsive and impossible to understand. Others gathered the trappers and the hunters who are recognized by their traps and long-barreled rifles. The legendary mountain and later famous scouts, the Band Brothers, Jim Bridger, and many others, came from all parts of the plains and mountains. Small bands of Indians bring goods to Buffalo. They don't trust the white man, but they feel a degree of kinship toward these mountain men. Notice the man called Squaw Man with his woman and horse-drawn travois. The travois was primitive today, first pulled by dogs, but later adapted to the Though the purpose of the rendezvous was trading, it was also a good excuse for music and possibly a little drinking, which may have been promoted by the traders to improve their bargaining.
As though two mountain men are wagering on the accuracy of their rifles, while their reluctant companion and his bottle serve as a target. Looks like a good-natured wrestling match has broken out in front of the trader's wagon. Meanwhile, a good horse being prized by both Indian and white, a race develops with a winner-take-all bet.
from the pointed route. Unless it is an Indian attack.
He's trying to deliver the mail.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty rude for getting in here.
The stagecoach brought many new settlers to the West, especially young brides-to-be. The arrival of the stagecoach was a source of great excitement. Everyone wanted to see who and what would be on the stage. Just as the early Mississippi River settlers turned out to meet the riverboat, the early prairie settlers turned out to meet the stage. There were always those anxious to come to the unsettled prairie, and those equally anxious to return to the civilized East.
Fun. You have a lot of fun.